What's up? You're on with Pete and TB.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Alex Melody, first-time caller. Been listening to y'all in the chat. I just wanted to go ahead and say it's kind of the chat Sven, man. He saying that Kirby Smart can't develop talent and is no good. What do y'all think about that?
Well, I think the NFL draft would disagree with that. I mean, I think Georgia's putting a fair amount of NFL people in the NFL, aren't they? So now...
Correct. I mean, I think we're top 5 in sending talent to the NFL. Yeah. He's like, oh, man, they're no good.
There's a lot of
narrative about Kirby Smart can't develop talent is just outrageous.
There's a lot of things that people can say about Kirby Smart as a criticism, right? Hasn't won the big game, hasn't beat Alabama, has made some bad on-field decisions, but recruiting and developing talent is not one of them. Here's the one thing I will say. He hasn't proven under his tenure there that he can develop a quarterback. So this year will be a big step forward in learning whether or not he can develop a quarterback because he's got one that's capable, right? I mean, look, people can say what they want about Jake Fromm. I know he won a bunch of games, but Jake Fromm really he just had a ceiling. I think for his ability, his physical ability, he actually played really well, but he had a ceiling.
Yeah. And of course, the offense they were running as well. You have to think about that. Like they were running that kind of offense, and I know they say everything about Kirby. He doesn't change the offense, but again, I mean, he's a younger coach. You have to know that he's coming in. He's making mistakes. He's correcting them. I mean, I think he's definitely showing everybody he's changing to air raid or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's just that head coaches develop just like players do. And I mean, I think he's on the right path considering that fact.
Not to beat a dead horse here, right, but the biggest blunder for any major college football program that's a top 5 or top 10 program in the past 10 years was what happened with Justin Fields. You got to have some balls. I mean, look, people could hate or love Dabo Swinney, but when Trevor Lawrence came in, he sat Kelly Bryant's ass right down on the bench, didn't he? He didn't care if Kelly Bryant was a senior or not. He didn't care if Kelly Bryant won.
Well, he actually let them the first 3 games battle it out. Like they got 50% playing time the first 3 games or something like that, to where they both played, and Trevor blew him out of the water.
Right.
And Dabo said, "No, all right, Trevor, you're the starter." It wasn't.
Yeah, and they were playing
fishing with Jake Fromm.
But he was letting Trevor Lawrence come in there and play basically maybe about 40% of the meaningful snaps in real games, and not just handing the ball off. He let him actually battle it out on the field. And it wasn't, and I know people say, oh, well, yeah, it's easy to let him do that when you're playing against Duke and Boston College or what. No, they went on the road to Texas A&M. And Trevor Lawrence, we're talking about the second game of the year. And Trevor Lawrence was playing 40% of the snaps, throwing the ball down the field.
Yeah, well, and this is the thing, Big Dog. Who's calling in? What's your name, dude?
Alex MLD from the chat.
Okay. Well, I'm a Dog fan as well. And so, I'm going to say this too. The thing that Kirby has struggled with is what all defensive coordinators struggle with. Kirby's a defensive coach. Literally has been top 3, top 5 defense every single year now. And Dabo is an offensive mastermind. So, of course, his mindset thought, let's do it this way. Now, also, Dabo happens to have a defensive mastermind, as is the coordinator in Venables. We didn't have that. We didn't have that on the offensive side. We might have had it, but Kirby didn't allow them opportunity. He didn't loosen the reins on them. And I think we saw that. We had good offensive coordinators. We had a good offensive line coach, but Kirby was very conservative. And that's why Jake Fromm did very well, because it was 7-yard slant, 5-yard out route, little bit of this, little bit of that. He didn't allow him. And then all of a sudden we play LSU. What did he do? Loosen the reins, and we saw what Jake Fromm could not do. And that's what kind of hurt us as Georgia, as we need a better offense. We need to be able to do above and beyond. And now he's given freedom. He's actually letting us have a real offense. And that's why Georgia fans are so high right now. Those last 4 games, we have seen Georgia do what we've never seen. Yeah. We saw J.C. Daniels throw. Go for it. You're good.
It was like in 17, he comes in his second year. And I know you've probably heard this before. Comes in, Sony Michel, Chubb. That's all you needed. I mean, he was there. Fromm just had to back them up, just make a good pass like every 4 downs.
Yeah, that's why Jake Fromm digressed over the next couple of years. Jake Fromm digressed more than any quarterback I've ever seen. Yep.
But Kirby being a defensive-minded coach, he's going to think that, oh, wow, Fromm's great. You know, he said it all that year. He would just say it every interview. Fromm is my guy. He's great, you know. And then next year he's like, oh, we're going to put him in. Fields comes in. You know, it's the whole battle thing. He's a new coach. Like you said, he's more defensive-minded, so he's going to go – he's more conservative. But I'd say even in the last year and a half with Saban beating his door every single year, change the offense. Yep. You have to change the offense to win. I think finally okay, you know what? I had that offense back then. It worked. It's not working now. Let me change, just like Dabo did, just like Nick Saban did, and just like every college team that wants to win anything now is going to have to switch to that type of
10-7. Well, guess what? As soon as college football started changing, what did Saban do? Saban motherfucker put up 50 points. What'd they do? Put up 50 points. While Kirby Smart's over here going, well, you know, remember we played Auburn? We were up by 14 points at halftime. Kirby comes out, runs the ball the whole third quarter. Auburn almost comes back and beats us. And we're like, Kirby, why not score more? And we were so upset. And everybody's like, well, no, Disney dogs. Well, we won. You need to be happy. And it's like, no, prepare your team for the better teams you're playing. You're going to play better teams, and it's like, no, we're just trying to win 1-0. And the whole deal with Jake Fromm and Fields, well, we don't know the starter yet. They're still battling. He would say that to make Fields satisfied. Fields knew what the deal was. That's why he transferred. So, anyways, I'm happy that everything's on path for us, and this game against Clemson is like our biggest test since Saban in 2017. So, anyways, good call, dude.
Hey, if you don't mind, let me say something real quick. This is the first time I've called your show, Pete, or any show. I've watched Community for a couple of years, more than a couple of years now. Just want to say I love the show, Pete. Love what you're doing, man. And, I'll be calling in again.
I appreciate the call, brother. Thank you so much.